welcome back to my channel. So we are sitting at my desk. I am not at my filming station. I'm just going to do a get ready with me. I haven't done one of these in a while and I haven't really felt like filming a whole lot lately. So I just thought this would be nice. I'm going to be using my minimal makeup collection. So we're just going to jump in the video where I show what's actually in my minimal, like minimal for me. This is still not small by any means, but I do have a video up if you want to see what I ended up keeping over here versus my 3 big units. I went down to 1 single unit, so that video will already be up on my channel. So we're just gonna go in. I did clean my face. I have these, like, the ones I'm using right now are from the company Yes. You can get them at Walmart and Target. I get them through Grove, but they're just like coconut cleansing face wipes. You don't have to like rinse them or anything. I had some other ones that I was using before. Sometimes I'm lazy and I don't necessarily want to wash my face in the morning. So if I'm going to wear makeup, it's just something easy. I can clean off any like residue from my skincare. I know it's wasteful because it's wipe, but so I just went in with my Brightening Serum from Gold Faden. I had an under eye cream that's supposed to be really, really good. I used it at night, so I didn't see like tremendous results from it. I just thought it was okay. They're kind of an expensive brand. And I think like their stuff, as far as I can tell, like on me is just okay. Like it's not anything bad, but it's not anything life-changing considering it's one of those more expensive brands that they sell at like Macy's. I think it's just okay. And then I'm going to go in with my Bobbi Brown. This is the vitamin enriched face base. This is just a little sample. I like this stuff. I wouldn't mind getting a full size. I think this is like a $45 face cream. It has a little bit of a light citrus smell and it is really, really nice. The other one that I like is from Avant. I've been getting it in the squeezy tube because I got it through subscription box, but I guess when you order through the company, it comes in like a glass jar because that one's like $115, but these are both good. I think as far as repurchasing, I'd probably be more inclined to buy the Bobbi Brown just because it's cheaper, but that's still not like super cheap moisturizer, but it's better than $120 or whatever that other one retails for. How has everybody been doing? I like doing these because I can talk a little bit more. I try and not ramble when I'm doing my tutorials because I feel like I can tend to ramble. And I'm just going to put some eye cream. I have this little sample of the Clinique Eye Surge, so I've been trying that. I used to use like Clinique solely years ago, and then I kind of got away from it just because it's a pain. Like you can get stuff online now, but years ago I would have to go into like Dillard's and go to the Clinique counter, and that was kind of annoying. That's probably why I never bought MAC, for the same reason. I have to physically like go to the makeup counter, which is an old school thing. Like people used to do that all the time. And I'm going to go in with I've been using 2, my Time Wise. I like Mary Kay. I know people are very anti-MLM. I always recommend if you want to buy Mary Kay products, just go through Poshmark. There's always consultants either with too much inventory or people that signed up and they're trying to get rid of their inventory. So you can get stuff discounted. I haven't bought stuff through my Mary Kay lady in years because I get my mineral powder foundation, my pressed powder, my skincare, all of that, like the stuff that I buy regularly from them. I just go on Poshmark, and so I'm getting it at a discount. So I haven't paid full price for any of the Mary Kay stuff because I feel like people already have it in their inventory. Help them get rid of it because I do like their products. I've been using Mary Kay since I was in my 20s. So, okay. I've got my skincare on. I like to let it sit for just a minute. And then the primer combo I've been using is my Urban Decay Optical Illusion. This is one that I got as a sample in my Sephora Play box, and I ended up buying the full size. And this will last me like 2 years. Like this thing And it's good for 24 months. I probably had it, I will have had it longer than that, but it is a pump. So I feel like it's sealed. So this is probably gonna. And then I use it in conjunction with the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. I did buy a new one. Again, I got it on Poshmark because Becca is closing. So they will be gone September, supposedly. So I go in first with the Urban Decay. It's a little bit thicker, but it's a really, like, if you want a really good smoothing primer, I know everybody likes the Benefit Pore. This one is, I have that one. I have the hydrating one, and it's not a bad primer, but this is 1,000, I would say, times better. If you are looking for something that smooths, because this claims it's smoothing, it's got rose hip and argan oil, pore perfecting. Like, it just makes my skin look and feel really nice. It's a little bit thicker than the Benefit one, but it's better. I think it's better, in my opinion. Not everyone's going to agree with me, but if you like that one, I would highly recommend at least getting a sample of this and trying it, because you will be like, oh. This is one of those products I purchase when I have the 15% off sale, because it's a staple product, and then I'm getting it at a discount. Yeah, I've had this one for a while. It's one of those that I'll stop using and I forget that I like it, and then I'll go back to it. But it's nice that it's in a pump, so I think it's going to last longer, because it's going to take me forever to go through that. So it's nice, it's got a longer shelf life, and I will be using it past that. And then the Becca Backlight Filter looks really nice on top of it. I like the e.l.f. Illuminating Putty Primer. Some people don't. I guess if you had oily skin, like I've heard it makes people look like a grease ball, but my skin is so stinking dry. I never had that. Like, it does make me look really glowy, but at least on my end, I never felt like it made me look like a grease ball. Now, other people may have looked at me and not had that same thought, but I'm also very dry. I used to be combination. I am completely 100% dry. There's no combination here at all. So I like it. This lays really like nice on top of that Urban Decay. Some primers don't play well together. The other one that I like is this Coconut Skin Smoothing Primer and Moisturizer. This is like a glowy moisturizer. So this is, it says it's smoothing, but it's not as smoothing as the Urban Decay one, but that's the other one that I like. So we're going to go in. I probably just need to use this up. I've been trying to go through. I'm sure this is way expired. This is in light medium sand. This is the Tarte Shape Tape, the hydrating foundation. They discontinued this, and I'm mad because this was my favorite foundation. So I'm going to use a little bit of this. I wasn't going to. I did finally get the Wander Beauty Illusion foundation that I really like in my correct shade. So I have the medium and the light now, because the medium used to be a hair too dark, and now with me not going outside, it's a lot too dark. But I also kept to this one because I need to just use it up and be done. I have the new Face Tape foundation. One of my subscriber friends, Wendy, sent it to me, but I've heard, I haven't tried it yet still, but I've heard it's not as good as this, and I'm mad they got rid of this one. I'm going to go wet a sponge. And sponges are dirty. I have this little bitty Aesthetica one I was going to try and use, and it is so hard. So I'm just going to use my foundation brush. All my sponges are dirty. All of my brushes are dirty. I need to clean them. Everything needs to be cleaned. It's just been annoying. And I got this thing on Amazon forever ago, the thing where you put the brushes in and it spins and it's supposed to like clean them, and I still haven't tried that. Normally I like the actual foundations, I like using a sponge because it kind of shears out the product a little bit, because I don't really like, I like really light coverage, minimal. I don't do even medium most of the time, just because I don't find that I need it. I have some breakouts on my chin today, but generally I don't feel like I need a ton of coverage. I'll just put some concealer on my chin. Okay. So let's go in here. going to just go in with a little bit of the Pixie under eye corrector. Becca makes one that I think is very comparable. Theirs is like twice the price as the Pixie. So if you're somebody that used the Becca one, I would recommend trying the one from Pixie. It's not, it's comes in a pot just like the Becca one, and I've heard it's a very comparable product. I never tried the Becca one. I had contemplated years ago buying it, but there's no reason for me to have two of these, so I never did that. But I've heard that it's, and then I just go in with a little bit of my Neutrogena like hydrating stick just on top over that color corrector, just to kind of help conceal a little better before I have redness on my nose because of, I've been wearing my glasses, so I'm a little bit blind right now, and I'm going to put a little bit over where those red spots are. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of the, what is this? I think this is Maybelline. Yeah. This is an oldie but a goodie. This is my newer one. I've repurchased this like three or four times. The sponge will get a little bit yucky after a while, but it's still a good concealer. So how has everybody been doing? I know some of the states have started lifting some mask restrictions. Like, I'm from Montana. I live in Arizona currently. And when you go on the websites, like, allegedly, like, the only places that have to enforce the masks are like the salons, but I think all of the businesses, at least in Yuma where I live, are still like Walmart, all those like chain are all mask, like they're making everybody wear masks. So how is that going? I know some people are mad that some states are lifting the restrictions. These people's like numbers are still not good, so I don't know how everybody feels about that. I don't necessarily have a problem with them lifting. It's that some states are lifting and some aren't. So like Montana, it's not mandatory. Like the masks were never mandatory up there, but places were enforcing it. And now I guess a lot of like the chain retails are not enforcing the masks anymore. So you see a bunch more people walking around without them than you did before. Like my grandma still wears a mask because she's, 85, but my issue is that every state is doing something different. So like my husband's a truck driver. He has to drive through different states constantly. Every state's doing something different. Like, I feel like either make everybody wear masks or make nobody wear masks. Like, to me, it's silly because there's no travel restrictions. So you have people traveling from states that aren't mandatory into states that are mandatory, and it just seems silly to have people being, traveling back and forth, and then the masks, like, aren't mandatory where they came from. So then technically, like, they're bringing stuff with, like, that doesn't make sense to me. So that's the only thing I have issue with, is I'm like, just make everybody do the same thing. I'm going to go in with my number 7 powder. We're going to do that where I put the concealer. Normally I'll use a loose powder, but we're going to just use the pressed one today. And then I think I'm going to go in with some of my e.l.f. my Halo Glow powder. This number 7, I guess, is supposed to be a good dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury like powder that makes you look airbrushed. I like this powder. I think it's good. It's not recommended to use pressed powders under the eyes because they're heavier than like loose powders, but I feel like this one's decent for under the eyes. I don't think it makes things look too bad. And then I will have my glasses on today, so But yeah, that's my only issue with it, is that they just aren't forcing people to be on the same page. Because like I said, I think it's silly because people are able to travel. So you have people coming from Arizona, because we have like a retired winter population that travels here, and they're coming from states where it's not, you know, mandatory to wear a mask. So I'm just gonna, this is the e.l.f. the Halo Glow powder. I will say this is a good powder. I had questions on whether or not this was good for dry skin when I used it in a video a while ago. I don't have a problem with it on mine. I will say that it does not play well with a wet sponge. So don't try to go in with your sponge and like set, because normally I will do that. This powder doesn't like wet sponges. I have one from Pretty Vulgar, like one of their loose powders. Theirs does not like wet sponges either. So I would recommend going in with a brush, and then as you've seen, like I set my T-zone with a different powder, and then I just go over. And sometimes I'll just do a light dusting of this just to give me a little bit more glow. I'll set my whole face with something else, but I haven't had a problem with it making me look dry or making me feel dry. So I don't think it's bad for dry skin. I haven't had any issues with it for me, but I'm not using a ton of product either. I think any powder can make you look dry if you're going in with too much. And then I'm just going to go in with my Makeup Revolution, the Skin Perfector in Opal. It just gives me a little bit extra glow on top of the already glow that I have. And then I'm just going to set that and we will move on. Let me get a setting spray. I'm going to spray my face, let it dry. Contour, I'm going to use my Hampton Weekenders from Tarte. I use this all the time. I'm going to use this to contour. It's one of my favorite contour powders. Yeah, I didn't leave many face products out, but like my stuff is still like in containers, so I can swap stuff out, but I pretty much left out the stuff that I either want to use more or I reach for all the time. So I just, yeah, you'll have to watch that video so you can see better on what I picked. I feel like it's looking patchy on this side. I don't know why. Seems like it looks fine on that side. I don't really know what's going on with that. And then I did, one of the palettes I ended up leaving was the BH, the Belgian Waffle. That's a really good contour palette for the price. It's got a really nice highlighter that I think looks very similar to Benefit Cookie. That's very popular. But it's got some good shades in it. My only complaint is that there isn't really a shimmery. I like to do like a matte contour and then a shimmery bronzer. So they're really, I have to dip into another one because they're both matte. There's some deeper ones and some lighter ones, but they're both matte. So I have to go into something else. I like when palettes give me a glowier option. There is a highlighter that's a little bit deeper I could potentially use as a bronzer, so I'll have to play with that more. So for the bronzer, I'm going to go in. I'm going to use the blush out of here too, I think. So we're going to go in, and this isn't a true like shimmery bronzer, but it's got a little bit of a like a glow, like a satiny. It's definitely not a matte. This is one of those palettes I ended up getting on Poshmark, and I went back and forth, and I probably talked about this before, because this is one of those palettes that people liked it or they like hated it because it did not work on their skin. I'm really fair, and this shows up on me, like the whole thing. The highlighter is a very subtle highlight, but you can see like there's, and I'm not really like digging in. I'm swirling in it, but I'm not like digging in there really bad. But you can see that there's color on my face, so it does work for me, thankfully. I'm going to try a new highlighter. This is from my Manizer Quad. The Manizer Squad. This one's got Mary Lou, Cindy Lou, which I have these two. and another palette, and then there's Emma Lou and Penny Lou. We're going to use Penny Lou because I'm wearing a green shirt today. I'm going to do kind of a brownie gold eye, so we'll go. I've never used Penny Lou. I was going to use my gold one from Kaleidos, but I was looking. I was like, I've never tried this one. I don't do gold highlighters often. It's very powdery, but it's got a nice sheen. It's, I would say, in the color family of the gold Kaleidos one, but it's not as, it's a little subtler, which is fine. I like these highlighters from the Balm. Mary Lou is a classic, but it's one of my favorites. Their champagne-y one. Cindy Lou I use as a blush topper, which I may put a little bit of that on today. We'll see. I'm going to use the peach one. Since this is glowy, I probably don't have to. The Sweet Peach Glow. And again, you'll be able to, you can see that there's blush color on there. And I'm not, again, I'm just going in like that. I had people like telling me they had to like scrape in there and dig in there. And I don't know if it's just not, you know, bad quality control, which it could be, or, you know, I happen to have a fair enough skin tone with the right undertone that this product just happens to show up on my skin, which could be, because you can see there's blush on my nose, there's some on my chin, and I'm not really like, I've never had to dig into this. It just shows up. So I'm thankful because it smells really good and it's a nice little travel palette. But yeah, the other Manizer trio has Mary Lou, Cindy Lou again, and then it's got Betty Lou, which is, I use it as a shimmery bronzer. And then so I've got 2 repeat shades, and then these new ones, which Emma Lou's a little bit of a lavendery shift, but I like the Balm's highlighters. Okay, and I'm gonna put brows on off camera, and then we'll do it. I don't think brows are very exciting to watch. 1, 2, I have a hard time doing them on camera, and 3, I haven't done makeup in like 2 or 3 weeks, so I'm sure it would have been even worse to watch than it already was. We're gonna try, I haven't used this yet. I got it on sale. It's a little dusty. Never tried it, so we're gonna use the Naked Honey today. I'm gonna use my MAC Paint Pot to prime. Let me find a brush. I do want the Wild West palette. I like Urban Decay's formula. Like, it's not anything to like write home about, but it's very user-friendly. They're very easy, like everyday palettes. I actually was kind of interested in the Ultra, like the purple one, the Ultraviolet or whatever that one was called. But I don't want to pay full price for it because I don't use purple shadows that much. But like if that one ever went on sale, I would be. But I definitely want the Wild West palette just because it looks like a nice, like easy everyday color story. I'm going to get my NYX glitter glue out and we will get going here. I forgot to get eye brushes out. I will get my color switch. I can kind of see some brushes. Here we go. Okay, let me grab this and this. We'll use some Luxie ones today. This one, and this flat one. Okay. My camera's like right in front of, that wasn't the flat one that I wanted. My camera is kind of right in front of where my eye brushes are. So I'm trying to, an organized person would have probably gotten this stuff out in advance. But if you've watched my channel for a while, I'm not, oh, there it is. I was looking for my little flat Morphe brush. When have I ever been like super organized? I think there is a brow bone highlight shade in here. It's called Flyby, and there is a brush in the Urban Decay palette. I'm just going to pull that out just because I'm not going to use it at the moment. So we'll just put that under the brow bone. And I'm not going to hold the palette up. I'll tell you what the names are of the shades. That way if you have this palette and you like the look. You can recreate it because I don't even know. I did not plan out a look. So, and it's going to take more time for me to hold the palette up. And this isn't necessarily a tutorial, so. I'm going to color switch because all of my brushes are stained and dirty. I'm going to go in with Keeper, which is like a darker mustard shade. Looks like there's two mustard shades in this palette. This is the darker one of the two. And then I think I might go in with another color also. We'll see here. This is one where when I remember seeing like promo pictures, I was like, why does anybody need that? It's all brown. It's like very boring, but as time progressed, like more and more people raved about it, liked it. I'm going to have to pull my mirror a little bit closer just because I don't have my contacts in today. And so as time went on, I was like, oh, it might not be a bad palette to have. Not that I need it, but it would be a nice, like, everyday neutral palette. Their formula of their Naked palettes is nice for that. Like I said, if you're somebody that doesn't do a lot of eyeshadow or just wants an easy palette, like I have the Naked Cherry and the Naked Heat. They're both, I would say this is the same formula as those, just from this one shadow, or the two that I used, but they're just really easy to use. I'm going to go in with Sweet, which is a lighter khaki color. The property next door is like empty, but there is an owner, and he's been like, it's not flat. He's been bringing dirt over. I think he's trying to level it out. He kind of put up an illegal retaining wall, so if the dirt gets too high, I think Mike's going to call the city, because if the retaining wall collapses, it's going to come over on our side of the property. So we're trying to keep an eye on that, but it was one of those, we tried to buy the property next door with this one, and the lady like wouldn't even entertain like an offer. And she wouldn't even counter us when we tried to offer her for both. So then she sold it separately, and then we tried to talk to the guy that bought it, like, if you ever don't want it, and then he wouldn't talk to, like, it was a whole thing. I'm gonna go into Drip. It's a little bit darker of a brown, because we had initially wanted it, and we were gonna tear down the garage below and just put the garage on that piece, because it's very like sloped. It's not like super usable. That's why he's having to bring over so much dirt to kind of try and level it out, because there's no septic, there's no water, there's no power, anything on that piece. It's just land. They had been using it as like RV parking, but like the power was coming off of ours. So when we bought this property, Mike went in, because he used to be an electrician, and clipped the power, so there's no power over there anymore. There was when the owner had both pieces, but yeah, the power that was there was coming off of ours. So when we found out we weren't going to be getting both, we went in and cut it. Because like I said, it was coming off of, it was tied into ours. When the lady didn't want to sell us both. Because it was dumb. She's like, oh no, I'm not going to sell them both. And then like 2 weeks after we closed on this, she was like, okay, I'll sell it. Do you want to buy it now? Well, no, because we just got a giant loan for the house. We can't go get another one. The bank's going to be like, no. That's why we were trying to buy them together, and you didn't want to talk to us about it. Like, it was a whole thing. And we could have afforded to buy both, because she was like, you guys won't be able to qualify for both. She doesn't know what we qualified for. We could have. Like I said, she wouldn't even counter. Like, it was a whole ridiculous thing. Not that anybody cares. But the noise that you're hearing is the dump trucks bringing dirt. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of NYX glitter glue. That's all I think I'm going to do. I'm wearing my glasses today, so I'm not trying to go real like crazy with it. I don't even think I'm going to I was going to put like some like smaller like accent lashes on. I don't even think I'm going to do that. I'll probably just curl and put some sort of a mascara on. Just because, again, I'm wearing my glasses. You're not really going to be able to see my eyes all that well. I don't know which gold I'm going to use. Maybe golden. And I'll go in with a little bit of amber. I honestly hadn't even really looked at this palette super close. Like I've seen had seen pictures of it, but since I bought it, I like briefly opened it. It sounds really dumb, but it's probably because I have too many eyeshadow palettes. I was like, oh, okay, it's here. Threw it in my drawer. I'll use it at some point. I think having less stuff in my drawers right now will help me to like stop doing that. Because I don't even have some of the new palettes that I bought. I got 2 for BH. I got the blueberry muffin and the avocado toast, and those didn't even make it in here. Granted, they're in containers behind me so I can pull them out, but I have limited space, so I had to be selective about what I actually wanted to put in there. So if you want to see the palettes that I ended up keeping, that video will already be up. I cut my collection by like 2/3 because I didn't get rid of it. I've done declutters recently on my channel. It's just they're in containers in those cabinets behind where I normally film. I just took down the curtain that I had up there. Just for one, that whole setup's going to get moved downstairs, and then it just makes it easier for me to get in the cabinet too. So that's pretty. I think I'm going to go in with honey in the inner corner just because that's a fun, like, little bit more greeny gold, like pop color, a little more like chartreusey looking compared. Antique gold is probably, it's a little more of a greeny antique gold. So that's pretty. And then, oh, maybe Queen on the bottom. It's another shimmer, but it's a darker shimmer, and then I might use a little bit of something else to blend it out. This is a like true antique gold. So you don't get it in your eye. It's not burning per se, but it doesn't feel good. And then I'll probably take a little bit of Sting underneath. It's like, why would they name a shadow Sting? But it's a honey palette, so like one of the shades is Queen, Hive, you know, like bee themed. It's like, oh, that makes sense. Like, that's an odd name for a shadow, but I forgot what the name of the palette was called. And then I'm going to go in with like a little bit fluffier of a brush, and we'll just go into, yeah, we'll just do Sting underneath it. That's fine. I like shimmery, like lower lash line, and then this will just kind of help blow it out and smoke it out under there a little bit. Okay. I'm going to put some sort of little bit of a liner on. I'll put some mascara on, something in the waterline, and I'll come back and show you the. Okay, so I just did Punch from ColourPop in the waterline. It's just their yellow, and then I tried to curl them a little bit. Once the mascara dries, I'll curl them again because my eyelashes don't stay curled. That's part of the reason I wear false lashes, but I have Lily Lash mascara on. It's not a terrible mascara, considering my lashes are not good, but I will try and curl them again. And then I just have MAC's Velvet Teddy. I got a little mini at Christmas, and I haven't actually used it yet. This is a nice color, but as many lipsticks as I have, I was like, I don't need to buy that in the full size, but this is a pretty color. I can see why people really rave about it. But this is the finished look. Like I said, very, very easy since I'm wearing a green shirt today. It's not St. Patrick's Day. I'm filming this on like the 5th of March, but I just figured I would kind of coordinate a little bit, and I've been wanting to try this palette, so I thought this was a good one to use with it. So yeah, this is the finished look. Let me know what you guys thought. Again, if you are curious to see what I ended up keeping out, then make sure you check out my cutting my makeup in half, or not in half, by like 2/3 video that's already up. Make sure you're subscribed. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you in another video very, very soon. Bye, everybody.